Hey guys, welcome to Midwest Fantasy Football Week 6. It was a crazy week of games this weekend as we had 4 different games that were settled by at least 50-point blowouts. Led by the top scorer and the biggest blowout, Derek's Gurley's Gone Wild obliterated Brandon's Once in a Generation 176.52 to 76.28, just a tick over a 100-point margin. Todd Gurley led Derek's squad with 38.5 points, followed quickly up by Jameson Winston's 34 points. Everybody else on Derek's squad racked up between 21.5 and 10.5 points for a full team beatdown of Brandon's squad. Heck, you even got another 15 points from Allen Robinson, who was sitting on your bench you didn't even need.
Stop! Stop! He's already dead.
For Brandon, different week, same story. Patrick Mahomes scores 30 points, leads the team, but everybody else on your team really let you down this week. You scored no more than 6.5 points from anybody else, including 2 zeros from Geronimo Allison, who didn't even play, and Ryan Suckup. There is a little bit of hope, though, on your horizon. Doug Baldwin looked pretty good this week, put up 12 points on your bench, looked a lot healthier than he did last week when he first came back, and Corey Clement put up 14.5 points, taking over for Jay Ajayi. In this week's closest game, Alex's Funkle Up knocked off Pope's 1.0's I'm Ready to Pump 103.5 to 89.5, a 14-point game. Alex grabs the win here on the back of Kareem Hunt's 27 points and Mason Crosby's 17 points in a rebound game after last week's disaster. You avoided possibly taking the loss here by leaving Alshon Jeffrey's 23.5 points on the bench in honor of Cooper Kupp's 1.2 points. Kupp tweaked his knee early on and wasn't very effective in the ugly win over Denver by the Rams. It's likely that he's going to be out at least a week, maybe more, now that he's torn an tweaked an MCL, I guess is what the injury was listed as. Pope 1.0 was led by 19 points this week from the Seattle's defense and 17-plus points from both Kirk Cousins and Alex Collins. The 15 points that you got from Chris Goodwin on your bench wouldn't have given you enough points to get the win here, but it would have closed the matchup quite a bit. This was the only matchup that was really close after the weekend. As it came down to Monday Night Football, Alex's Mason Crosby, 17 points, easily outpaced Aaron Jones' 4.1 points, and got Alex the win. In other games this week, Lee's I Want Some Butts put the whooping down on Josh's I Win Because Y'all Drafted 159.7 to 104.76. Lee sets a new personal high score this week, beating his old high score of 142.28. Unfortunately, it was a big week across the league for everybody, and your high score this week was only good enough for third highest in the league. So still no high scoring point total bonus for you. For Lee, Devontae Adams put up 33 points, and Aaron Rodgers put up 31.5 points to lead your squad to the win. You got great games from basically your entire squad, as everybody put up double digits, with the exception of Alfred Morris, who managed to put up 0 points in a healthy game. He only got 1 carry, which was called back for holding, and never touched the ball again. I don't know if San Francisco doesn't like his play style or just thinks he's not doing anything, was trying to send a message, but he looked like a guy who's not going to get many carries going forward. Now that we see that he seems like he's the odd man out in the backfield, next week he'll likely go off with a huge game and prove everybody wrong.
You don't know me. You only think you do.
For Josh, Cam Newton led your team with 23.3 points. Also, you got 15 points from the Chargers defense and from Robbie Gould. It's another week and another big running back game left on your bench. This week it was Latavius Murray's 25.5 points. That's 4 out of 6 weeks so far this season that you've left your best scoring running back on the bench. And I think it's been 2 or 3 different guys so far. That's gotta hurt.
That's gotta hurt.
My team, Justin Tucker Must Die, defeated Drew's Undercooked Burger 167.7 to 107.2. My squad was led by the combo of Melvin Gordon III with 37 points, 29.9 points from James Conner, and 30.5 points from Matt Ryan. Those 3 were the 3 anchors in my DFS lineup this week at Buffalo Wild Wings. So that trio just scored me a nice, cool $150 gift card for Buffalo Wild Wings that I will likely use as I lose further to Nick and fantasy wagers for the rest of the year. I also got 20 points from Gostkowski and Houston's defense. For Drew, the 38 points that Tyreek Hill ran up on New England led this matchup, and all players this week, but it really wasn't enough to offset the crap days that his other 2 wide receivers put up, with John Brown putting up 3.8 points, and Amari Cooper putting up 0 points after Seattle knocked him out with a concussion. Looks like it was another off week for him, unfortunately, due to injury, which isn't really the greatest thing. Chris's Brown-Eyed Monster defeats Nick's Duchess of T. Bjork 134.75 to 83.6. Chris's Monster Squad got 24.8 points from Tom Brady, 22.3 points from Julio Jones, who still doesn't have a touchdown this year, 21 points from Tyler Boyd, and 19 points from Antonio Brown. The 135 points that you put up this week falls just below your season average of 137 points. So don't worry, fella. I'm sure there's better times ahead for your squad. For Nick, you opted to start Andrew Luck over Russell Wilson, going against most of the projections I saw this weekend. Luck rewarded you with 25.7 points this week to lead your team.
You have chosen wisely.
Following that up, you got 17.6 points from Austin Hooper and 10 points from Jake Elliott. Unfortunately, you got negative 0.6 points from Quincy Anunia, 1.9 points from Mike Williams, and 3.5 points from Buck Allen. That one last one hurts the most, as you had both Peyton Barber and Matt Breida went off for 20 points combined on your bench. Still wouldn't have caught Chris, though. You know what they say.
The way of the road.
The way of the road, dude.
Finally, Jason's Hammock District beat Pope's 2.0's Drunk Choir Boys 123.3 to 99. There's that Saquon Barkley guy again. 36.4 points this week to lead Jason's team, followed up by 21 points from Emmanuel Sanders and 18.3 points from Michael Crabtree. This game could have been a lot worse had you swapped in Carson Wentz over Jared Goff and had better performances from your one-point kicker Josh Lambo and Jacksonville's defense, who inexplicably put up negative 0.42 points in a blowout to the previously non-existent Dallas offense. For Pope 2.0, Sony Michel led the squad with 25.6 points, and you even got another 16.5 points from Joe Mixon. You could have closed the gap here a little, but you didn't have the points available on your bench in order to get you the win. Hurting you the most was probably Deshaun Watson's 5.3 points versus the Buffalo defense.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Potential waiver wires. I was going to talk about possible waiver wires, but I think I've decided against doing that, at least for now, unless you tell me that you want me to keep doing that. This is likely to come out tonight yet while the Brewers game is going on. I'm recording this at like 8 o'clock right as the game is getting going, so I'm going to switch over to that as soon as I'm done here. But I don't want to affect anybody that might put in a waiver claim yet and throw off, nobody was going to bid on this one guy that nobody else knew about, and then this video comes out, and then you lose out on it, and you get mad at me. So I'm just not going to do that. Here's a video of a cute giraffe instead.
You guys say Colorado.
That's Ricky's favorite video on the internet. Next Stat Corner. Jay joins the 50-win club. Congratulations on that. Derek takes down his first high score of the year and his 5th overall. That only moves you up into 8th place with Josh. Only 3 other people have fewer high scores than you've had so far. Lee with his 0. Come on, bud. We believe in you. We know you can do it. You were close this week. Brandon with 1 and J Money with 4. Alex gets a pass for at least a year until we start making fun of you for that, if you're lucky. Chris keeps on whooping up on Nick's butt. He moves to 7-2 all time. Myself, I continue to have good success playing Drew. I moved to 6-2 all time. Derek moves to 4-1 over Brandon. In case you didn't see anything or you don't really follow social media, Eric's newborn. Congratulations on that. Hayden has the same amount of wins and high scores as Lee does. So Nick wanted to point out that Hayden's high score and Lee's high scoring mean that they have the same football knowledge at this point in life. So I didn't want to put that in there, but Nick insisted. So Derek joins Chris, myself, and J Money on track for beating the season total for total points. This is a chart that Nick has that tracks everybody's average scoring. Look at this thing. It's just like crazy. Scoring is up for almost everybody, but I think 2 teams, if I'm reading the lines right. I don't know if Alex is on here yet because his team is changing. I'm not sure how that's represented. If it just continued from Andy over to you, Alex, or if you're a new line on here. And finally, it's week 7, and I arbitrarily decided that this would be rivalry week at the beginning of the year when I was picking and scheduling. It did work out very nicely, as we've got a lot of interesting matchups this weekend between teams that are really close to each other in rankings. Chris versus me, which is 1v2. Derek versus Josh, which is 3v6. Jason versus Drew, 4 versus 7. Alex versus Nick, 5 versus 8. Pope 1.0 versus Lee, 9 versus 11. And Pope 2.0, Brandon, 10 versus 12. really, really close matchups. Nobody more than 3 spots away from each other. So I'm suspecting that after last week's week of blowouts, this week could be a lot closer. We're not sure how the buys will factor in. We do have a lot of buys this week with the Packers, Steelers, Raiders, and Seahawks all off this week. Good luck to everybody, and we'll see you after week 7.